Okay, here we go. Welcome back to Show Me What I've Been Missing, the pop culture podcast that says, "Oh my God, you haven't seen that yet? Ew." I'm one of your
Don't
hosts.
say that. We never said anybody that's ever come over. We're never like, oh, you haven't seen that? Well, this is gonna be what?
No, it's a non-judgment zone where it's, oh, you
Yes.
haven't seen that? Well, let
Yeah.
me give you some information about it and maybe entice you to watch it.
That's us. That's
That's
us.
us. This is not Twitter, where if you
Yeah.
say I haven't seen X, Y, or Z, people are like, "How all your credentials are shattered." Anyway, I'm one of your hosts, Elizabeth Stanton, and with me is our other host.
Chris Mack, what's up?
And we are going through the entirety of Sex and the City. So we are on Sex and the City season 2, episode 8, "The Man, the Myth, the Viagra."
Yes. I first off, I want to talk about the name of the episode
Yeah.
because the name of the episode upsets me because uh not because of what happens in the episode, but
Mm-hmm.
because who we see in the episode.
You're talking about the
And
old man's butt?
no, not even that. That upset me as well. But
We'll get to that.
we had an appearance of our former commander in chief,
Oh, right. Yes, yes.
Donald
Oh, okay.
J.
Yes.
Trump, shows up. And
It's
with that title being the man, the myth, the Viagra, and him showing up, it just put a sour taste in my mouth because I was like, this episode's name is tainted.
yeah,
And of
and
course, the big comparison to Big and then him being kind of like a Donald Trump, and then like them kind of being featured in the same episode. I was just like,
yeah,
But luckily, Big
it's brief.
one, it's brief, his appearance is brief, and two, Big made big strides in this episode in the better category.
Yes, but only after putting her through mental
I
anguish
will get into that. I'm
again for no
saying he
reason.
still made strides. All right, give my man his credit. You know I'm the last person to give him credit, but give my man credit where it's due. He was doing work this episode.
Yeah, I made the note. I just wrote, "Boo! Samantha's drinking a Cosmo in the same bar as Donald Trump, and it's supposed to be a very New York moment, but not anymore, and not really. Like
Yeah,
our friend Peter is from New York and was there in the
yeah,
height of the Trump era, and
right.
and you can ask, as far as I know, any like lifelong New Yorker, they all fucking hate him because he
Yeah,
fucked over so many buildings and things like that.
right.
And without diving into Samantha's plot right away, he Trump leaves, thank the Lord, willingly and of his own volition too.
Yeah.
Interesting. But anyway,
No Capitol
uh,
riots.
no Capitol riot, no riot at the bar because he
Yeah.
won't fucking leave. But the guy that he's having a business lunch with comes up to Samantha and was like, "Oh, you were so distracting. I think I lost $150 million on a business deal with Donald Trump." And I was like, "Oh my God, he probably lost way more. He's probably gonna sue you to oblivion and fuck over your whole company, dude."
Yeah, like if you lost 100 mil at that point, you
Yeah,
probably lost like 300 in the back.
yeah, you lost way more, at least
It
double.
doubled by the time that deal was probably inked
Hmm.
and you signed it. So
Yeah, good luck,
nah,
sir.
sorry, brother. Got to take that old man ass to the.
You gotta take that old man mask and hit the road.
So we open with Big and Carrie coming
Hmm.
into an Italian. Looks like a moderately fancy
Yeah, a nice Italian, classic Italian
like a
restaurant.
classic fancy
Yeah.
Italian restaurant, and Big drops the big GF. He calls her his girlfriend. He
Girlfriend.
says girlfriend. Now, usually I would be like, Carrie's gonna read more into this than it needs to be, but I actually, when she was taken aback by him saying girlfriend, I was actually with her because I was like, oh, like because
Yeah.
it wasn't her, because like, previously in their relationship, she was the one kind of establishing all the titles, and he
Hmm.
was kind of like, whoa, chill, like you're doing a little too much. But this time, he was the one that established the title of their relationship as girlfriend, and that is a massive step for him as a character, I believe.
He even
I
jokes like it's the first. She's like, "You never called me girlfriend before." He's like, "Yeah, not to your face." I'm like, "Oh my God, that means he's been telling other people."
Right.
Ah!
Right. That part too was even the crazy part was like that. Yeah, that means he not even was he talking about her, he was letting her know that he was talking about her,
Yeah.
which usually he's always, kind of
She's a little
an
differential.
iceberg.
Yeah.
Everything's under the surface, and he was actually bringing more of that out and letting her know that like you're important to me. This is more than just like us having a fling or us sleeping together or whatever the case may be. Like you are important in my life, and
Yeah.
it shows a lot of his growth because you can tell that he's like trying this time.
Yeah. Yeah.
The first relationship, you
Yeah.
can you can make an argument here or there that he was trying, but like this time he's putting in full effort.
A little
So
bit. Yeah.
if it so far if it goes wrong, is it gonna be on him because he's taking the big leaps. So
Yeah. And then also I laughed the owner of the restaurant asks him to sing and he sings the Frank Sinatra. The title of the song is "It Was a Very Good Year," but like I think most people know the like "When I Was 17."
yeah,
And she laughs super hard because he is about 10 years,
you're right.
12 years older than she is.
Right.
And then I also there's like a dumb Simpsons joke where Homer sings it where he's like, "When I was 17, I had some very good beer." And I bought it with a fake ID. My name was Brian McGee when I was 17. So that's all I think of when I hear that song.
That's great. I don't think I've ever heard that, but that's fantastic. I would probably be laughing too. You think that's why Carrie was laughing? Maybe she knows the Simpsons reference?
I do not buy Simpsons or Carrie as a Simpsons gal. She doesn't even have a TV in her apartment.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I don't think, or maybe she does, but she never.
Does, but she ain't ever. I don't ever see. They don't
she's
ever.
Never kicking back
or nothing like that. Yeah. Anytime she's watching TV, she's either at Big's apartment or somebody else's apartment.
I don't think she's kicking back on a Sunday night, 8 p.m. watching The Simpsons.
Yeah. Now she's writing, right? That's her writing.
She's
Sunday's her writing day, right?
If you weren't watching the video, I did air quotes on that.
That's why I'm cackling like a little switch because that's really fun. Because like, yeah, it's true. Because like she writes, but like I don't know, man. That column is kind of bullshit. I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of bullshit.
It's a ridiculous column, and the fact that she makes a full-time living off of one column.
No, a Manhattan.
And it's
comfortable living in Manhattan.
Yeah,
in a pretty big apartment. For a Manhattan apartment.
Yeah, like it is technically a studio or like a junior 1-bedroom or something.
Yeah.
But it is
But
nice.
For New York, that's you call it it's basically a mansion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That will come up at some point in the future, but it'll also be quickly shuffled away as a non-issue. It'll be it's a 1-episode issue. That's it.
So to stay with Carrie, because I want to stay with Carrie's
let's go through their
story first. To stay with that. Yeah, that was interesting because he takes a step forward and saying that she's his girlfriend, which, in the last episode, he kind of proved that, giving her a toothbrush and things of that nature, coming to the wedding with her, even though he didn't really want to come. Yeah. Now, okay. Carrie talks with a friend. They go and have lunch, and they're talking about like relationship myths and stuff like that. And it seems that conversation kind of made her regress a little bit.
Maybe because Charlotte's telling the story about the friend's friend of a friend or whoever who got together with the guy after like they'd been apart and I think married and divorced. And the thrust of it is someone says, one of Samantha or Miranda says, no one's relationship changes overnight. And Charlotte goes, no, we do know someone who's did, Carrie and Big.
Right.
And Miranda and Samantha both scoff at it, even though Carrie kind of is trying to explain the change. And I think you're right in a way. To the outside, it's not a big change, but it's big changes internally in their relationship and within him. And they're subtle. Like, even though they are little things, they are big, no pun intended.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you call it? They're all, or at least they're big things to Carrie, know. Even though, like, to an outsider, if Carrie was like, he gave me a toothbrush, you'd be like, and like what how's that sealing the deal for you
Right.
relationship wise? So but I think because her friends are kind of doubtful of it, that makes her doubt doubt
Yeah.
it as well, even though he's doing these things to
Well,
show that he does really like slash maybe even love
yeah.
her. But she maybe is thinking like they need to be bigger gestures, or where words. I'm not super familiar with the love languages thing,
Sure.
so I don't know what Carrie or Big's love languages seem to be.
Well,
um
here's because my interpretation, it seemed like
mhm.
she was content,
Mhm.
and then as soon as her friends kind of scoffed at her idea of what the relationship progressing, she like then set out to prove something. Like now she needed
Yeah.
like this exterior validation for her and Big's relationship,
Mhm.
and that's why I mean like it's a regress because
Yeah,
the second she kind of
exactly.
gets comfortable with him and starts to see that like he's progressing,
Mhm.
somebody says something, and now she has to prove to the
Right.
world of their undying love. And it's like
Yeah.
that, and that was that kind of instinct kind of seems to be a core problem in their relationship. It's
Mhm.
like her needing that validation from everybody, and it kind of makes him look like an asshole because he's unaware of these conversations, and
Yeah.
it puts him into these predicaments to like make him prove their relationship is
Mhm.
progressing, and he's just like, what the fuck? Like
He's like,
I just
I
gave
thought
you a
I was
toothbrush.
doing.
Like yeah, like I'm doing good. I called you my girlfriend. I
Yeah.
sang to you. Like that's because honestly, him singing like that and her to her in that restaurant, to me, I would it seemed like a sign of, for like a better word, vulnerability. Like to
For
put yourself out
sure.
there and be
Yeah.
embarrassing and sing in front of somebody. Like
Yeah.
that's not something that's not something he was doing in season one when he was dating
Mm-mm.
other women.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? And I guarantee you, he definitely didn't do that with any other women that he was dating besides Carrie. He didn't take them to that
Yeah.
restaurant and sing for them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's stuff like that she's like, it's like as soon as her friends say something, she just forgets about all that. And now she's like seeking this
Yeah.
other validation from them. It's like she has to prove to them, like, no, my relationship is valid.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, it's valid
Yeah,
because
because
you guys love
she's
each other, not because your friends see it, you know?
yeah, and she's still obviously very insecure in the relationship. So every time
Yeah.
she gets secure, there is something that pops that balloon or bubble of
Yeah.
of security that she does have about it, and then she's like, "Oh wait, I have to prove to
Yeah.
Uh,
Now,
and I think it is because they broke up, they got back together. She lied
yeah.
about it to
Yeah.
them for a while,
Yeah.
so I think that's part of it too. Why she feels
Yeah.
such an intense need to be like, no, no, he's good this time. No, 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 it's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. That's also, and my question is too, is like, in those insecurities, let me ask you this. This is
Mm-hmm.
a personal opinion, not
Mm-hmm.
just aside of the characters themselves, but like just this situation. Um, is that his problem, or
Oh,
should be his problem?
her
Yes.
insecurity.
Yeah.
Um, yes and no, but
Okay.
it is his problem. But she is not communicating in any way that she feels insecure in any way in the relationship. So
Yeah.
therefore, he cannot solve a problem he does not know about.
Okay. That's a fantastic point.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. Yeah. You can't fix problems you don't know. And
Mm-hmm.
also expecting him to know that these things are there is a
Mm-hmm.
little bit ridiculous.
A
I
little bit. He could be more in tune with her,
He could
which
be.
he's not always. Like,
No, he's not.
and I think that is that is a problem for him. I think he
Yes.
knows it's a problem
Yeah.
because
But I think he's actively working on it as
yeah,
well, I think.
because the big thing at the end is at some point in the episode he agrees to go to dinner with her and her friends so they can get to know each other. That's the
Yeah.
thing she wants, and she does effectively communicate and say that's an important thing. I really want you to do this. And then when she goes to pick him up for that dinner near the end of the episode, he's like not even dressed. It's like
Yeah.
8:30. And and he's like, it might rain. I don't really want to go. Why do that to her? There's
Yeah.
no reason for him to do that. He clearly feels very secure in the relationship, but he's not in tune that she doesn't feel that way. But he does come through at the end because she does say that. I think she kind of lies. She kind of lies and says it's
Yeah. She kind of
fine.
makes an excuse for him. Yeah.
Yeah, and in the moment, what do you call it? Hang on, let me check my notes. Well, she lies to the girls about why he's not there,
Yeah.
and oh, and she does. Yeah, I made the note. She does lie to him and say, no, it's fine. So she's kind of lying to everybody, including herself, that everything's fine. It's not, and she's like on the verge of tears. And when she's at the restaurant, and they won't get seated, to their whole parties there, and she's like, maybe we should just get a table for us. Rough night or whatever, and then he comes through at the last minute. Now he didn't. He could have just put on pants when she got there and gone with her
I will
and
give you that.
saved her all that mental anguish. That's what pisses me off with him
Yes.
is he does nice things and does good things, but is not in tune with her enough to not intentionally or unintentionally put her through all this mental anguish and make her doubt. And that's where the insecurity in the relationship comes from, I think, partially is he sows doubt without meaning to, but because he's not paying attention.
Fair. That is fair. I agree with that. But I also feel like low key too is like there's a bit of resistance in him because of her insecurities. Meaning like he doesn't want to be put on display, man. Like he wants their relationship to be their relationship, not your fucking friend's relationship. Like, and you're not, and also too, like, it's one thing if you had made plans, like if they had already made plans and stuff like that to hang out, and it was like a big kind of group thing. But this was also kind of a put him on display kind of thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I want you to get to, because like really she wanted. Okay, part of her did want him to get to know her friends because they are important to her and they mean something to her, and he means something to her. So
that's basically her family.
That is a fact. So yes, part of that was like she does want you to get to know them because they're important to her as much as you are important to her. But also, it seems like, again, I feel like maybe he was sensing this and maybe just didn't know he was sensing it. But like, again, it was also seemed like it was important for him to get to know them so she can prove to them like how valid their relationship is, because they scoffed at their relationship previously in the scene before at lunch, and now she has to bring him in to be like, watch, I'm gonna show y'all that all that shit that y'all were scoffing about, watch you bitches be bitter when you see my man and prove all that shit wrong. You know what I mean? And that's my whole thing about it is it's like if it was completely valid that she just wanted him to come meet her friends and there was no underlining tone of it, I would be 100% on her side if he didn't show up. But like the fact that it was just slightly tainted with bullshit, it's like I'm glad he came through, but also if he didn't come through, I would understand, because nobody wants to be somebody's treating her like a trophy wife or a trophy girlfriend. He's not parading her about town and like, ooh, look at this hot ass girl that I can. You know what I mean? And she's kind of parading him around. It's like, no, this is our relationship. So how about we establish our shit first, and then I'll meet your friends, and then we can get to know each other like organically, not forced. You know what I'm saying?
Incidentally, that's all some foreshadowing for far down the road. Just FYI.
Fair enough. But ultimately, though, he did win. I think he had good points. Like he showed some ability. He showed some growth again in this episode. I don't want to give him props, but like right now, again, he is a little bit clueless in times, and there's some points, but for the most part, he's killing it compared to
he's doing pretty good.
Last season. Yeah. I mean, look. If nothing else, he at least at the end of the day, so far in this season, he ain't made Carrie feel stupid for getting back with him.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
Like, he's definitely, shown that he's grown, that he missed her, that, he regrets how their relationship ended last time, and he's definitely striving to be better. It's small steps. But it's small, but also big because of who he is.
Yeah.
And who she is. and everything. So I'm with them. I'm rooting for them. Like at first I didn't want it to happen because of how they compared them to, but like now I'm kind of like, I know that they at some point do end up together, get married. I'm like, if looking at it at this point in their relationship right now with like how they're working, I'm rooting for them to win.
Yeah.
And be together right now. I don't know what's gonna happen later, but right now I'm rooting for them.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think this is even though I have my issues with him over the course of the series, it's moments like these when he comes through where people do like him for Carrie, and I mean, there's a lot of other reasons.
Yeah.
That you'll see as we progress.
Okay.
Good and bad reasons why people think they should be together.
Really? Well, I can tell you the bad reasons already. But
yeah, but in the nice, like truly romantic, like I do like her, I love her sense, like the nice date, the romantic like dinner at home, and then like coming through. The only problem though is he comes through for her because he caused the problem himself by not wanting to show up in the first place.
You're not wrong. I'm not. But here's the thing: at least he fixed the problem that he caused.
Fixed it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. At least like nobody, like none of his friends or like Miranda didn't call him up and be like, "Why the fuck aren't you here?" You know what I mean? Like he figured it out on his own.
He doesn't. It takes a lot, but when he does notice things that are important, he will hopefully come through. Because I mean, he could clearly tell she was lying when she turned around and was like, no, it's fine. You don't have to come to dinner. Yeah. And she like Charlie Brown walked her way away from the door.
I mean, it was obvious. If he didn't pick up on that, he was just blind. Like she definitely did like the cartoon comedic like the only thing was missing was like a cloud forming over her head and raining on her.
And well, that was they kept saying it was going to rain that night, and she basically walked to that restaurant with a cloud looming over her head before it actually did start to rain. But and so I feel like he closed the door and was like, I fucked that up.
Yeah. He's like, you know what? I probably
should go put some pants on.
Yeah, I probably should go ahead and get dressed. And yeah. That's true. But to be fair, also too, like, listen, I don't know what kind of day he had for work and how long it could have been.
Right? Sometimes,
like, and he's never.
His busy day as a businessman.
Yeah, and so far from what I've seen him, even when they're like at his house. And they're cooking dinner, he's still in like a business casual outfit. You know what I mean? Like, he's never out without a suit on. So maybe that was like what he was thinking. Is I was like, man, I just took my suit off. I just took this tie off.
He's never really in like basketball shorts.
That's what I'm saying. He ain't never like dressed down. He's always like to the 9s or at least like an 8 at best. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you just you wearing a fucking 3-piece suit all day and you just took that bitch off, it's like that bra. When that come off, it's like, you want to leave the house now?
No.
No. So
you got me there.
Again, kudos to him for taking that on, because like low key, if I'm wearing a suit all the time and I take that suit off and especially I take the fucking dress shoes off, oh, it's over, baby. Yeah. I'm in the house like.
Now this is
veal the other night. You want me to meet your friends? Fuck your friends. Tell them to cook you veal if you want me to meet them.
Well, speaking of, so that is one big problem with her. Again, pun not both intended and not intended. Is she blows Miranda off so she can have the veal dinner with.
That's not where I thought you were going before you finished that sentence.
Oh, blows Miranda off? You thought that one?
Well, when you said she blows, I was like, wait, where you going?
Oh.
Miranda off, I was like, oh, okay.
She ditches Miranda for this veal dinner, and Miranda says, "This is the problem. It's all about him again," which is that is an issue for her.
But that's not on Big though. That's
not on him. That's but that
Carrie.
Is on her.
Yeah,
to allow herself to get so subsumed into the relationship, and so
and that was another reason why I was upset about it, because it seemed like it was like that the scoffing at the restaurant, and then like her feeling guilty for blowing her friend off is like another reason why she had to put him on display so she could be like, look, this is the reason I blew you off, because look how well he's treating me. Look how he gets along with you guys. Look how much you love him. If you didn't love, you know what I mean? Like, you love him, so like you get why I'm so much around him all the time.
Yeah, it was worth being a shitty friend to you.
Right,
just to, like,
exactly. It was like, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I mean too. I think he picked up on it. Like, it didn't feel like she was organically trying to introduce him to her friends. Because it was more of a, I have to prove to them why, you know, being with you again is not stupid.
Yeah, because that's actually a good point in that scene. You know, she answers her phone and you know, apologizes, air quotes on that, to Miranda. Sorry. I feel
calling somebody an hour before you're about to meet up.
Yeah, and in this day and age where you have to leave voicemails and shit, and
that's even worse. Because if you tell me we got to meet at 8 and you call me at 7, I'm probably already out of the house.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm probably already gone. Oh, I'm busy getting ready, and I'm like not gonna check my voicemails until I get back home that night, because I figure we're meeting at 8, because this is the time of like, people had cell phones, but it weren't smartphones. It was all like just regular ass cell phones. You could text and call. That's it.
Because like, you know, he probably offered to like, hey, do you want to come over? I've got veal. We can have a fancy dinner. And I almost wonder if she even said, oh, no, I shouldn't. I'm meeting Miranda. I feel like she was like, hell yeah, I'll come over for veal.
That's what I'm saying.
See you at 20. Like,
I mean, veal is fire. I ain't gonna lie. Have
I had veal?
You probably have.
If I have, it's
probably been a while.
An eternity since I've had it.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, I
don't even feel like it's that
it's
common.
not something. Yeah, it's not something that you would have like on a regular basis. One, because it's expensive, but two, it's just like preparing it and cooking it right. You know, like you gotta know what you're doing.
As Miranda mentions, it's at least at the time, it's production was highly questionable. That was a big issue. There's even like a South Park episode from around this time where they make fun of like how badly veal cows are treated.
Really?
Yeah, it's not good. It's you know, it's definitely a strike.
They make him like stand for hours or something.
Yeah, and veal is like young cows, and they're separated from their mom, and it's definitely a knock against us meat eaters. I'm not gonna lie.
That's pretty brutal.
It's a little unethical. It's pretty bad.
That's what she said. She said you're non-PC meat.
Yeah, you're politically incorrect meat. And Miranda's got a point. You know,
when she called it that, I was like, damn, that's exactly what it is.
It's true.
That's right on the money. So speaking of Miranda, let's get into
I have to apologize to you.
No, go ahead.
Because I called you out the past 2 episodes on mistakes. With the introduction of Steve, Skipper, I believe, is officially no more. I don't think.
He ain't coming back.
Steve is almost Skipper 2.0, but new and improved. We'll get into that. Yeah. But I was wrong. I could have swore there was more Skipper. And I realized with this episode, Skipper is off in the sky. Hopefully with a new girlfriend.
That's you know what, honestly, I'm glad that he hasn't made an appearance, because you know what, now in my head I believe that he's moved on to greener pastures. He has a hot girlfriend that loves him.
Maybe he moved to Silicon Valley. He was into computers. Maybe he moved out to like Palo Alto and works at Google now.
Yeah, he's got him a nice coding girlfriend that treats him well, and they like the same things. And he's probably like, doesn't even think about Miranda. He's probably like, damn, why the fuck did I even be with her in the first place?
It's the glow up of the century for Skipper.
Yeah, man. In my heart, that's what happened.
That's what I want. That's what I'm rooting for. That. Yeah. He got past my initial bad impressions as like a nice guy. He learned from his mistakes with Miranda. Yeah. Learned about life. Yeah. And he's living the dream out in like the he got in on the San Francisco housing market before it went apeshit, and now has like a $3 million like townhouse where they filmed Full House. Yeah, I want that for Skipper.
Yeah. And he started a company with the actor that moved to Salt Lake.
Yes.
All the scorned lovers of Miranda and Charlotte and fucking Samantha, they got together and made a conglomerate, and they're just killing it right now.
So this when we first meet Miranda in this episode, she's on a okay date at a comedy club with the world's worst comedian. Oh, oh, I
Well,
hate
she
it.
said she was in hell. At first, I was like, "Are comedy clubs hell?"
That's why I don't
As a
understand.
comedian, we look like we lit. That's our,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like we kind of, that's like our comfort zone. But like on the outside looking in, is it hell for other people?
I don't, yeah, like, I guess so, but also, like, don't go then. You know, like, why are you going if you don't want to be there? I'm
Yeah.
just saying. Like, I'm pumped. I got tickets for Mark Maron in July. I can't wait. I'm so excited. You have to have
Well,
the
you
Max
know, the
card.
funny thing
I'm
is I
ready.
was watching this and I was like, you know what? Whoever wrote this episode is clearly not in touch with real people. Because here's why: 9 times out of 10, if a couple is at a comedy club, it's the woman's idea. It's the girl's idea. Always the girl's idea. Let's go to a comedy club. It'd be fun. It'd be so fun.
Yeah.
Most dudes are like, "Fuck that. I'm funnier than most of them." You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
they may not
Yeah.
say it out loud, but that's how they feel in their
I
head.
could do that.
Yeah, I could do that.
I
Like,
could do that.
they ain't
Why
funny.
don't you just
I
get
make
up there with the microphone?
Also,
I could do
too,
that.
most dudes don't want to watch some other guy making a girl laugh. Like their egos can't really handle that, especially if they think that they're funny. Especially if them being funny was like part of what attracted her to that guy. They don't want to go watch some other dude make her laugh harder than like you probably could ever make her laugh. Which is, let me tell you something, fellas. A comedian is always gonna make your girl laugh harder than you because she's not in love with that comedian. When you're in love with somebody, it's harder to make them laugh because like they know different things about you.
Yeah, like, they're a professional too. Like, that's their job.
It's professional, but also too, like, it's also different. Like, again, when you're in love with somebody, you've been in a relationship for a while, like some of what was funny is not that funny anymore because you got to know them a little bit. Secondly, like, again, when you get that kind of intimacy, it kind of takes away from how funny you can be. Like, you see somebody take a dump, it's kind of, like it's hard for you to make them chuckle after they see you in that state. You know what I mean? So
like,
take
that
it
was
easy,
a good
fellas.
joke, but I also just saw you take a giant shit, so I don't know. But also,
like, also you farted in the bed last night, and that wasn't funny because it was disgusting, and I threw up. So come on.
But this comic is like talking about like douche products, and he's like he is. They are
he's
on purpose.
Awful. He's awful. He is awful.
Doing the worst of like the '90s edge comedy, where it was like aggressive.
Oh, that's like '80s edge comedy. That wasn't even '90s. That was like
it could be aggressive and unpleasant, and I can see why people like don't want to go to comedy clubs if you know that that's the material you're going to hear, and it can be very off-putting. So I totally get that. But then it turns out her date is still married. He said he was divorced, but he's only separated, and she gets the phone call on his cell phone, and she gets heckled by the damn comedian, and it's just like a all-around horrible night.
Well, okay, to be fair, I was gonna say this. It was a terrible situation, but I was gonna say Miranda fucked up again. Didn't respect boundaries. She answered the phone, and what happened? Something negative. Every time she crosses boundaries, something negative happens.
I don't think this is totally her fault.
It wasn't her.
She got harassed into it. And
she was forced.
Chanting at her to answer the phone, and like, I guess maybe she didn't know how to
hit the little button and hung it up. You know what I mean? You could have just silenced it. You didn't have to actually answer it. I think part of her wanted to answer. Like, yes, the comedian was like giving her shit, and everybody was looking at her and stuff like that. So she was low key on the spot. But at the same token, you could have been like, "It's not my phone. I'm not going to answer it. Keep doing your shit. We move on."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because most comedians, if you don't give them any kind of feedback to when they're trying to talk shit to you, they'll just leave you alone because there's no material there.
Just like,
keep doing your show. I'm here. I turned it off. Keep going, and that's it. That would have been it. So part of her wanted to answer it,
probably.
But also, good thing she did answer it because
she found out.
He was a scumbag. He's out here. He told her he had been divorced for 3 years, and they had barely just got separated.
Yeah.
My nigga, like, fuck that.
Yeah.
And then you wonder why people are mad, like women are mad at men, like, and Miranda was mad at men almost this entire episode. It's because of shit like that.
Because you're all damn liars. That's why.
Like, don't be like. Here's the thing: you can't be mad, but can't call women bitter if you're a piece of shit dude.
Yeah,
that's a piece of shit move. Like, it doesn't matter. Oh, well, I liked her a lot, and I didn't want her to like be, discouraged from dating me. Tell the fucking truth.
Yeah.
If you told her, like, look, me and my wife are separated. We're no longer together. It's over. maybe she would have still.
Yeah, we're separated, but we haven't filed. You got to be clear on that,
right?
Because he made it seem like they were totally done.
He said divorce. He told her divorce.
Yeah.
That's a big leap from separated.
Yeah.
To divorce. You feel me? Like a friend of mine just recently told me that like her and her husband have separated. They ain't divorced. And there's a big difference between divorce and separated. And I mean, because hell, separated, you can still be living with the bitch. I don't know this. As you know, if I'm Miranda, you tell me you're like at first you tell me you're divorced, and then I find out you're just separated. You know, what was gonna happen? Because like were you gonna take me home? Like, were we gonna just like fuck in my apartment every time?
Yeah.
Until y'all got divorced? Because I guarantee you, a dude like that, if his wife is still calling him on the phone, they still living together.
Yeah,
they still living together for sure. Yeah. And she would have been out here looking even dumber if she like went to his apartment and his wife showed up, unlocked the door with her key and been like, "Hey, what's up? Who's this bitch?"
Yeah. So that takes us to the brunch where Miranda's bitter AF, but understandably so.
Totally understandable. I ain't even mad at her. So like, yeah.
And then she's mad that they're, all men are, if they're not married, they're gay. And it's like the old joke, like, oh, that they say about parking meters, right? They're taken or broken. Or I think people made the variation, like, oh, how does the parking meters? They're gay or broken, like gay parking meter.
Right. Yeah. Like I don't know how that works, but it doesn't. I mean, yeah. I guess. I mean, it can be gay or straight because it just accepts one. A coin. You insert something into it for it to work. So
it's a stupid metaphor.
It's more pansexual than anything. Yeah. It takes all coins, cards.
But I feel her a little. Like I said, I've had moments in the recent past where I've like chatted with people and been like, "Oh, we're vibing," and they're like, "Oh no, they're taken." Yeah, we were chatting with me so much.
And to me, again, that's regardless of if you were gonna do something about it or not, I think that most people are aware that they're being flirtatious, and that's kind of a shit move because that you can't do anything. So why are you using me to get your fucking you get your rocks off? Like, get the fuck out of here. You're married, be married. Go home and flirt with your wife, motherfucker, or go home and flirt with your husband. Don't fucking flirt with me, dick.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here.
So then let's see, Miranda scoffs, and then that takes us to the fateful night where Carrie blows off Miranda.
Yes.
To have in politically incorrect meet, and Miranda meets Steve the bartender. Steve Brady from Queens.
Yes. Who was okay. No bullshit. The guy was killing it. I'm sorry. Yeah. He was clever. He was adorable. And like, okay, first off, let me talk about this. Let me put this out there. I am so sick of fucking movies and television shows making it seem like all you gotta do as a guy is be clever for like 30 seconds and then you can get laid. I'm so sick of that shit because I'm not saying that I'm the most clever guy, but here's the thing. I know it takes way more than that to get like a one night stand. Even in New York where it's like, everybody's living like the metropolitan life and it's fast paced and all that shit. But 30 minutes or 30 seconds of being clever or a few moments of being clever is not going to get you in the bedroom. Like, you got to be clever for hours before
I think that was the implication, is that she stayed
but here's the thing,
she stayed there through last call and closing to chit-chat with him.
But here's the thing. Most guys only have about a 5 to 10 minute window of cleverness. After that, it either gets really corny or it just gets a little mean because like, especially if you like started out like razzing each other, like okay, like look at Steve and Miranda. They started out razzing each other, right? Okay, now a guy for like the first 5 minutes, that's cool because like, all right, that's how we met, that's how we're, that's how we broke the ice, and now we're talking. But most guys don't understand that after that 5 minutes, you stop that, and so they just keep going with like the little clever jabs. And most women are just like, all right, this is all this guy has. I'm out of here. Like I'm done with that. Like most women get disinterested after like 10 minutes of like you constantly like throwing right hooks at him, you know what I'm saying?
But I think Miranda likes that. She likes the antagonistic nature of
that's because
things.
she's crazy.
Yeah. True.
I like how you didn't miss a video. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that shit. She's gone.
Yeah, but they go home and they hook up, and then she kind of kicks him out of bed, not unlike our boy Skipper.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
she's pretty rough about it. She's like,
Yeah.
hit it and quit it. And he's like, I'd actually like to keep hanging out with you and talking to you. And she's like, beat it, scumbag.
Yeah. She's like, I ain't here for that romantic bullshit.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Well, because I mean, again, the guys that she's dated before, and then that last guy that she dated who was married and completely lied about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't have, much faith in men right now. Like they've all been kind of shitty to her, and yeah, I mean, hell, this season alone, she's had nothing but shitty dudes.
Yeah, bad track record. Yeah.
Yeah. So, she like makes this guy work a little harder. If he truly likes her, he's gonna work this hard. But I was also thinking too, like, I was like, you know what? I'm glad that she kind of so he asked her out a date. She's like, you don't got to do that. That's no big deal. Like, we don't got to pretend that this hookup was more than just a hookup. And he's like, all right. And he's like very confused by it because he actually likes her.
Yeah.
And he shows up, which in this situation, because she was attracted to him, it I guess was cute. But like in real life, was that creepy? Like him, because he comes back later in the week and comes to her apartment and asks her out.
It's a fine
which
line.
I thought was cute.
Yeah, I thought it was
but
cute
because I'm a guy, and so I don't know. It could be creepy to a girl.
It's like both. It's like a fine line because he was sort of quote unquote kind of trying to do the right thing by being like, yeah, let's go on a proper date. I want to take you out. Yeah. And he even asks for her number and she's like, no, bye. And so he comes back to the building. Now, what makes it, I think, less creepy is he knows the building, but he doesn't he does the intercom buzz thing.
Right. Yeah.
And what do you call it? And talks to her that way first. I think if he had just shown up at the door somehow past the buzzer, that would be creepy. That would be unpleasant.
I'm with that. Yeah,
I think because he went through the proper channel, so to speak.
Yeah.
And she buzzed him up. She could have been. He could have. She was like, "What do you want?" And he was like, "You don't want your neighbors to hear." Haha. She could have been like, "Get the fuck out of here! I'm calling the cops," and leave it at that. But instead, she was like, "Well, come on up, sir. Let's talk some more."
Because you know what? I think part of it is, as far as jaded as she was trying to be, she still believes. She still, because you know what? She still has a friend like Charlotte. And even Charlotte, because remember we go back to the brunch, everybody else was like, that's all bullshit. And Charlotte was like, but no, it could help. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Charlotte, the little cheerleader for love.
is in, they're friends. So that little voice is always in the back of all their minds. Even Samantha, who's like the hardcore as not giving any fucks out here in these streets person. I even think that Charlotte's voice is even in the back of her mind. Sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because cool. I think that's why Miranda was totally okay with him showing up. I think part of her, she wants him to be this good guy, but she's just afraid of what he could turn out to be. But I'm gonna tell you something like this: ain't no dude working that hard to be with a girl if he ain't into her.
Exactly.
Ain't no dude look, because here's the thing. If I'm a guy and I'm just hooking up with a girl and she gives me the out, if I'm, try to do the, hey, let's go out sometime, and she's like, nah, we don't got to do that, I'm out. Cool. This was fun. That was great. I'm out. You know what I'm saying? So if he, and I don't know, unless he's a great straight up sociopath, egomaniac guy that's I got to get her to like me just for the sake of her liking me. No dude is working that hard. Because even those guys who are I got to get everybody to like me, they just would have found her number and called her. You know what I'm saying? They ain't coming back to the restaurant, or they ain't coming out and meeting her out with friends and shit like that. To try.
Because every block she throws up, he's got an answer for her or knocks down in some way. I think, and she's throwing them all up because she's cynical and she's very hurt by the past recent events. But and so every opportunity she gives him to show that he's not a good dude and doesn't like her, he proves that he does want to.
Yeah, he excels.
He does great, and so that I think keeps winning her over. I didn't write out all the dialogue, obviously, but I was like, in
Yeah.
that scene, he is able to genuinely convince her, like, yeah, I'll have a drink with you before you have dinner with your friends,
Yeah.
and here's the and rather than try to like reschedule a whole bunch, he's like, well, no, where is it? I'll do it with you beforehand.
Yeah.
And like, what time are you really getting there? Because
Yeah.
she's trying to deflect, and
Yeah.
he's not gonna fall for her. You know, that was a trap for him to disappoint her by
Yes.
being there at the wrong time or too early or too late or whatever, and potentially
Yeah.
blowing her off. And he dodged that trap and was like, when are you really getting there?
Right.
And that proved to her further that like, yeah, he really likes her in some way.
Now, here's the only thing about that low key upsets me
Mm-hmm.
is my man was putting in that good work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he was being clever, he was being cute, he was putting in that work. You know what I'm saying? Proving her all of a sudden. And the only thing that makes her change her mind is Big's relationship showing up. I don't know. It just seems like Miranda and Carrie have this unspoken competition with each other. Like, who's gonna get the happy ending first? You know what I mean?
I've
And
never thought about it
because
that way. Interesting.
if you go back and
Yeah.
look at it, it's because I'm watching it with fresh eyes. So I'm
Right.
seeing
Oh, for
it. You know
sure.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying? If you go back and watch like season
Hmm.
one again and like have their relationship, it seems competitive just a little bit. Like every time one
Hmm.
is in like a good relationship, they seem to want to flaunt it around each other as if to say, like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get the happy ending before you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if it's necessarily there. Maybe that's just how the show has been written and how it's formulated. Maybe that's just like
Hmm.
something that they weren't aware of. But it
Yeah.
just seems like that because the second that Big shows up, all of a sudden Miranda drops all of her like doubts about the male presence in her
Species.
life. Yeah, the male species, I should say. Yeah, and all of a sudden she runs outside and kisses the guy in the rain.
Yeah.
You know
So
what I'm saying?
romantic. Love it.
So romantic. So
Um, yeah, I'm trying to think of how to play that because Steve comes through and is there, getting
yes,
them drinks and
yes,
everything,
buying them
and
drinks.
buying them drinks, and um, but she's still so dismissive, and I think and she's openly dismissive of him
Mm-hmm.
in front of her
Mm-hmm.
friends, and they're all a
Mm-hmm.
little like, Miranda, chill about like
Like,
the guy, like he's
yeah,
being cool and being a
like give
good
him a
dude to
chance.
you, give
Yeah,
him a
he's trying
shot.
hard. Yeah,
He's working over here, and
yes,
he's not even on the clock. This isn't even
yeah.
his bar.
He's working. Matter of fact, he's working hard after getting some.
Yeah.
Usually, I can understand if she would, if they ain't had sex yet and he
Hmm.
was trying to work to get her. I can see you having some qualms, but he already hit that, and he's
Yeah.
still working as hard.
Yeah.
Give him a chance, my baby.
Yeah. And so I'm trying like and he rightfully leaves after she makes like the snide like, oh, if you want
Yeah,
good sex, you fuck a bartender, and
right.
it's just kind of crude and cruel way to treat him,
Yeah,
and I don't blame him for being like, all right, I've put in a lot of effort in a short amount of time
yeah,
for a woman who, she's showing she doesn't like me, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and leave,
yeah,
and he's got every right to.
yeah.
And
Absolutely.
I think Big showing up for Carrie, um I think maybe after Miranda doubting Big so much,
Mm-hmm.
and
Well,
he
no.
comes through, that's what springs in her mind, like, I guess I can be wrong, and so maybe I'm wrong about Steve.
See, I don't feel that
Okay,
because
that's fair. Yeah.
not to say that you're wrong. I
No,
think
no,
there is some
no.
truth in that. I do think there is some truth in that. But
Mm-hmm.
I also feel like because she was too quick. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Like after dude left, she was, all huffy and puffy and pissed
Yeah,
off.
yeah.
And she was too quick to like pull Carrie into her misery. She was
Yeah.
like, she wanted that company. She was like, oh, he didn't
Mm-hmm.
show up?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all men are shit. Yeah, we're all together. And then he
Mm-hmm.
shows up. She's like, oh shit, I'm alone in my
Yeah.
bitterness. I better go get some happiness. You know what I mean? That's
Mm-hmm.
why I
Mm-hmm.
say it feels like a competition. It doesn't feel like
Yeah.
it was legit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because it just seemed like she just wanted somebody to be in her misery with her. When she was left alone in her misery, she was like, well, fuck that. I don't want to be by myself. And let me go get this
Mm-hmm.
guy who like clearly showed me that he likes me, but I'm not into that much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Thinking to the future again without giving anything away,
Yeah.
there is a certain amount of they want to keep each other in certain ways in their friendship without
Yeah.
letting each other progress. So
Yes.
yes, This is, now that you mention it, this is what you're seeing is a very early seed of that, I think, and I agree, because I think there is, and at this time too, it was this, things were very competitive that way. Rather than just be excited for
Right.
your friend to be happy, it was, if your
Right.
friend is succeeding, you are failing. We were not, we were at the like single independent woman phase of feminism, and not the like lift each other up yas queen phase.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was still very, you're right, it was still very, very competitive. Like, if one is succeeding, I am failing, and I must
Yes.
destroy her. And whether that
I must
be,
destroy her.
whether that be, in work, in motherhood, or in relationships, I must do better. I need to win womanhood.
Yes, I need to be better than her.
Yeah.
Yes, because it was still that idea of I guess scarcity.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
There's not enough men for all the women, so
Yeah.
I need to get mine before
And as I've mentioned,
gone.
there, I've experienced like girls who want to control all access to guys, whether or not they're dating any of them,
or even interested in any,
or
of them.
even interested. They just want, I have the resources, I have the platinum mine, and I will control it. I like a board game or Dungeons and Dragons or something, where it's like, I have all the gold, you can't come near me.
Totally. Yeah, 100%. I totally get that vibe from her right now, and I'm sure maybe it'll change. It probably
it'll ebb and flow
back and forth between them two. But like, it does seem like they all kind of have gotten used to a certain dynamic of the group.
Yep.
And anytime that changes just a little bit, like some of them might move on with their lives. They're like, oh, what the fuck is that? No, I don't. No, fuck that. If she's happy, then I gotta go get my happiness. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Other than Charlotte's just like the sweetheart who just wants everybody to
I just want everyone to have. I wish we could all go back to like it was middle school.
Yeah.
Like the girl, that random girl in Mean Girls, she doesn't even go here.
Yeah, she's so cute. She wants everybody to be happy. Yeah, she just wants everybody to be happy.
And if she had no plot this episode, poor thing, she didn't really get to do anything.
And and Samantha's that way too, but just on the opposite. She's like, look, be happy, but like, don't be stupid with your happiness. Like, don't like sacrifice like your happiness to like for some version of happiness that you think you're supposed to be.
Exactly.
Don't settle. Is what she's like. You know what I
mean? 100% right.
Charlotte's like settle for anything. Just be happy. Just be with somebody. And Samantha's like, no, fuck that. Get you the best.
Yeah.
So
speaking of
Samantha, now we go into Samantha. Her you know what though? Okay, her episode, her situation this episode was just fucking funny. It was
this was pure comedy.
Pure comedy, just from the start to finish. So to backtrack, we go back to the meeting that her and this gentleman after he was having a business meeting with Donald Trump,
with the inexplicable president.
He got screwed. I'm sure he got screwed over. Fake or reality, I'm pretty sure. Even in the script,
that guy got screwed.
He got screwed. He gets screwed over, and he meets Samantha, and he starts doing what rich guys do, old rich guys do, pulling out the money.
Yep.
Now I ain't gonna lie, because he was like, he offered her an island. I'd have taken the island. I'm sorry. I mean, if you got it like that, if you could just buy me an island, you know what I'm saying, and all I gotta do is like 5 minutes of sex. I can do 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, for an island. And also too, I wrote this down. Samantha deserves an island, not because she's beautiful and whatever, like because like you want to have sex with her, just because she's a badass bitch.
She's
like,
the best.
She's so 100% she's a good friend. She's loyal. She's fucking always gassing them up, and she's always doing her own thing. And like even when she falls, she don't like depend on them to get back up. Like she does it herself.
And she doesn't drag anybody with her.
She doesn't drag anybody else into her bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So like, just on that alone of her being like the personality that she is, she fucking deserves an island.
Hell
so
yeah,
the dude offered it to her. I was like, you goddamn right, you better offer her an island. Fuck a Porsche or a car. Like she deserves more. If you gonna spend money on Samantha, you spend big money.
Yeah. She is worth it.
She's island money, cuz.
Now here's what comes into play. Ed is like in his 70s, and
like a hot 75,
like
72,
70. I think
75.
I wrote it
She
down.
said 72, but
she
I'm
says
pretty
72.
sure he was like 75.
And Samantha is a little bit older than the other girls in the group.
Yes.
Carrie's in her early 30s.
Yeah.
I think at some point Samantha says her actual age in a later, much later episode. But
Yeah.
I think Samantha is like early 40s, like 40,
Really?
41. Yeah.
Really?
And she's about 5 to 6 years older than the rest of the group.
Late 30s. I thought she was just like a few years older than them.
Yeah. Yeah, she's like a solid 6 years older.
No, I get that vibe. Don't get me wrong. I get that vibe from her, but like I don't know. I just thought that she was like, like if they were like, let's say that they were like 31, 32, I was thinking she's like 36, 37.
About that, but I think let's see, and Carrie said
higher in the
I think it's a little higher. Carrie says that Big is like 42, I think.
He said, Big's 42. She said, 42-year-old man-child or baby.
Yeah, and Carrie turns 35, I think, within this season or next, which is why I think Samantha is a little older.
Oh, that's just, she might be like 40, 41.
Yeah, I think she's 41. Regardless, that still makes Ed 32 plus years older than her.
Right.
That's old enough to be your dad territory, which is always a little weird for me. I think I like older guys. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, no. But I think here's the thing.
But when they're starting, like, people are like, "Oh, you like that celebrity? Would you go out with them?" I'm like, "Well, no. I think it's old enough to be my dad. And that's probably weird for everybody."
To me, I think for it to work, it has to be like within 10 years. Like, you know what I mean? Like 15. If you're 40, they can be 50, or if you're 40, they can be 30. But like, I don't like anything beyond that, because there's such, especially now with how we're living. I mean, year to year is, creating big spaces and gaps in people's like cultural identities and things of that nature. So like, I can't imagine 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. You know how long 20 years of a difference is? You know what I'm saying? Like, hell, dude, even me when I was 30 and I was going to art school talking to fucking 18-year-olds, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck y'all are talking about. And y'all don't know shit about
How do you do, fellow kids?
Yeah, like it's, you know what I'm saying? Like that, and that's why I'm saying like 10 years at best is where y'all can like really work. Because like beyond that, what are you doing? Somebody has like an old man complex, like a daddy complex, or like, you got a fetish for young girls, whatever. I'm not, we can go all day on that.
That's a whole other thing. I do think it's funny that Samantha asks Carrie what her like age limit is on like, age difference. So
she figured it out this episode.
Yeah.
If nothing else, if she didn't have a parameter.
Well, Carrie keeps firmly saying 50. She wouldn't date anyone over 50, and she's in her early 30s, so that's almost a 20-year.
That's almost.
Yeah, it's like a 15, 20-year difference. That's pretty significant. But Samantha's like, what about if they're in their 70s or 80s? And then they keep joking when Samantha goes on the date with him at his townhouse that like he admits he only has like 10 to 12 good years left, and that's why he's like taking the Viagra to have sex with her. Yeah. Which, fun fact, I did look this up because I was like, when did Viagra come on the market? And it came on the market about a year before this, and that's when it, no pun intended, grew in popularity. And it really did start off as
First of all, no, we'll have a moment of silence for that, because you're not just gonna say that joke and think that I'm not gonna call you on it. You're better than Miss Elizabeth Stanton.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I love puns.
You are in timeout for 30 seconds.
I'm not. You cannot make me.
Well, you should be.
But yeah, no, it is weird that it like started off as like a heart.
It was
pressure thing or something.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh hell yeah, it works on boners. This is the most important research we've ever done.
Listen, I mean, you talk about happy accidents.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's probably weird. It's probably weird though in that room, like being a tester and you being a scientist and you get given this like heart pressure medication to all these people and they all got boners. You're like, I don't know what's happening.
They're like, well, your hearts are beating fine, but you also all have raging boners. So we're gonna really need to look into that because what the fuck?
Well, the crazy thing about it is like Viagra stopped being a heart medication. It just went straight to boners. It's just boner pills now. It's just straight boner pills. It's like nobody even to like yeah. Also, it'll benefit your heart, but like you'll get that dick be hard though.
And in many cases, this is extra bullshit. It's covered and birth control isn't in a lot of insurances, and that is fucking ridiculous.
But you know what though? I have my qualms about birth control because I know it does some things to people. Like it fucks with your hormones and it messes with people's psychology. So, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Psychologically. Thank you. Psychologically and shit like that, and like it changes and shit like that. Because I know people who have gone off, you know, had birth control and gone off of it, and like they're a completely different person, and sometimes better. So it's like.
Oh, birth control is not without its problems or complications, but it is a very necessary and important thing.
That's also it should still be covered, but I also
and if you're gonna cover fucking boner pills, the cause of births in the long run, you should probably cover the birth control too.
Fantastic point.
You gotta cover the one. You should cover the other.
I'll take that L to the face. You're right. I'll take that. You're 100%.
I mean, I was on birth control and I had to stop for medical reasons. You know, and. But that's a stress for me now too. Is like, you know, if I get in a situation. But that's a whole other thing. Samantha's not worried about that. She's just pumped to get all that jewelry at dinner.
Yo, you know what was the best part of the whole? The best part about the whole Samantha and what was his name? Ed situation was the fucking maid. Did you
that maid hated her, and that was the funniest thing in the world.
Not only did the maid hate her, but here's the thing: it was you could tell she hated her, but it wasn't even necessarily it was her.
It wasn't her. It was just the.
She's seen this before.
Yes,
she's seen this before. That's what it was. It wasn't Samantha particularly that she didn't like. She was like, I've seen these bitches come before. Y'all all come here. You get a fucking bunch of jewelry, and then when it comes time to get down with the dude,
one look at that old ass. You get one look at that old wrinkly ass, and you bounce.
Samantha saw that man ass and was running. The maid was at the door with it open with her jacket. She was like, bitch, I knew this was coming.
Normally,
she was ready. That had me rolling so hard because at the dinner, she was like, every time she like, you know, saw the piece of jewelry, she was like, oh boy, rolled her out. She's like, here we go again. Yeah, like I said, it wasn't necessarily I don't like this particular bitch. It was like, here we go again with the same shit. You keep going after these like 20, 30-year-old younger girls than you, and they all end up the same way. You give them a bunch of jewelry, they see your old man ass, and they run out the door.
Because you know the maid is angling to get the bulk of that inheritance if he remains.
You think it's about that? She just
unmarried.
These bitches rolling through. He's like, well, how many times you gonna try this, old man? Like, just be an old man and die.
Normally they say don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. That maid like slammed that door where the good Lord split Samantha in the ass.
She knew exactly how that was gonna play out. Like as soon as the jury to her walking out the door, she was like, all right. She probably had a fucking timer set. She's like, all right, give or take about an hour and a half. She'll be out the door. I'll be going to bed tonight. It's gonna be great.
She made a bet with the cook, and the cook was like, "No way." She's gonna last 2 hours.
I would love to see
90 minutes tops, and then later on, the maid's like, "Pay up."
That's the part of the episode that needs to be shown. Like that was probably a scene that they probably shot, but then like included in the episode just for time. But like that's the part that they needs to be included because she was down there taking bets with like other maids or like the cook and shit like that. Like, all right, how long do you think this bitch gonna last? how soon out the door is she gonna be when she see that old man ass? Because I ain't gonna lie, Samantha's been through some shit. All right, she could deal with some shit. She would deal with 3 small penis dude for 3 months and tried everything. So like I thought she was gonna go through with it, but damn, when they showed that ass, I was like, oh no.
Yep.
Nobody wants to see that. And they actually showed that wasn't a makeup.
It was not a stunt ass.
That was an old man booty. That was a real old man booty. I was not ready for that. I was very upset when I saw it. Listen, I'm not saying that just because you're old doesn't make you a bad person. I just don't want to see that old man booty.
No, I mean, I'll put it to you.
Old white man booty, because that thing already flat, and then it gets flat and wrinkly. Shit.
I'll put it to you. Yeah, it's time makes fools of us all.
Yes.
And let's just say when I think of that the end of Mamma Mia 2 where they're all singing the Super Trooper together and the three dads are in really low cut like jumpsuits.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not a good
Yeah.
not a good scene.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were all,
Yeah.
had Mr. Darcy, you got 007 in there, and Stellan
That's why
Skarsgård.
I'm happy to be black because I
The
know
Swedish hunk.
by the time I get that old, I'm like 95. So like, I probably have a good man. I probably have a good man butt until I'm at least
Yeah.
like 65, 70, and then after
Just
that, I'll probably start going down.
you know, let's just say some illusions get shattered. It's okay.
Oh no, poor Elizabeth.
It's okay.
The trauma that you've been through between your karate teacher and this.
Oh my god.
Oh man! For those that don't know, go back and listen to like
to
episode 1 or 2. You'll
No,
know
it's
what I'm talking
the
about.
I know the exact episode. It's the Mask of Zorro episode.
Oh, is it Mask of Zorro? Okay,
We get off on a mad tangent, but it is worthwhile.
It's worth it. It's worth it. I wasn't ready for that when they showed the ads. I thought it was gonna be like, drama. I thought it was gonna be like, stylized in the sense of like, I thought it was gonna be like, it's just some makeup and stuff like that. No, they show real old man ass, and thankfully they did because like I probably would have judged her a little bit if it had been a stunt butt, but now that I saw the real butt, I was like, she had every right to get the fuck up out of there.
Well, this is actually really funny. Speaking of old man ass, now my grandpa was in a like undershirt and like boxer shorts for this, but he is an old Irish Canadian, very white, very pale man. He was like in his 80s at this point. We were at his house and there was like a picture window and the patio thing where he did all the grilling, and my brother and I were the only ones still up because we're night owls. And we didn't realize he decided to come down. He wasn't sure if he had turned the grill off earlier. I thought a fucking ghost walked by that window. He had white hair. He's so pale because, like I said, we're Irish and the undershirt was white. The boxers were kind of like off white. Scared the shit out of me. I like fell out of a chair jumping away from the window. And my brother was like, "It's Grandpa checking the grill. What is wrong with you?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry that I thought I saw a fucking specter."
Nah, fuck that. Nah, fuck that. Because
past the
person
window.
that said that to you is the person that gets everybody fucking killed because then everybody relaxes and then the ghost comes in and fucks everybody up. Nah, fuck that. Stay on guard.
He shuffled down. The grill was fine. And he shuffled and went back up to bed. But my god.
So let me ask you this. I feel like we've talked about this before, but this episode kind of brought the subject back up. Mm-hmm. Can you build a relationship off of a one night stand?
Right, that's the big question at the end that Miranda becomes legendary for theoretically doing that. I don't know. It's not happened to me, so I don't have experience to speak to.
Okay.
And I don't know. Don't think any of my friends have that I know of. I'm not. You probably could. There's no reason you couldn't, other than you just don't want to.
Yeah.
I think it's possible.
I think it's possible. I've definitely. Yeah. I mean. Spoiler alert: my last relationship, me and her were together for a whole year, and we kind of had a one night stand. We kind of started off as a one night stand, and then kept going. Like that's ultimately, yes, we did break up, but it wasn't because of the one night stand. It was because of other shit.
By that point, it had been a year. Yeah,
it had been a year. Yeah, a year and 2 months to be exact. So, like, I think you can. I think that the whole stigma behind like sleeping with somebody and not being in a relationship, I think that's a superficial kind of insecurity thing, because I feel like that's like you're worried about how other people are going to see your relationship and how other people are going to judge your relationship instead of just worrying about you two. Because at the end of the day, it's to build a relationship. You and the person have to work together, not be
Yeah.
worried about what the outside is worried about and how they
Yeah.
see. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, there's only two people that are going to be going to sleep in that bed at night is you two, not your friends and your mom or your fucking blah 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 whatever. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So I
I
think
mean, without putting, I'm not trying to put her on blast, but someone we know in our show met their long-term partner and now father of their soon-to-be baby through Tinder, and people were like,
boom.
people were like, "Oh, Tinder is such a hookup app." Fucking any app's a hookup app. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
yeah,
Instagram's a hookup
yeah,
app.
yeah, yeah.
And
Exactly.
so I think there was a real stigma, and still is like a stigma around Tinder. But like
Yeah,
any app can, like I said, any app can be treated like a hookup app. It
that
doesn't
100%.
matter really how you met unless you were doing something nefarious.
Right? Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, that's
But generally, it doesn't really matter. In fact, I constantly am asking people how they met because I'm trying to be like, "Where'd you find them? Tell me." Tell me where you found them.
I don't care where it is. Just show
I'm like
me.
Liam Neeson taken. I'm like, I will find where you found them. I do not have skills. I do not have money. But tell me where you found them.
That's all I need. Just
all
tell
I
me
got.
that. That's all I got.
I'll
Great
show up.
interrogation skills.
Yeah.
Tell me. No.
Tell me.
All right. All right, Elizabeth. Now that we talked about all that, where can the good people that are listening and watching find us?
You can find us, the show, on Instagram is the fastest, easiest way because it's such a great portal to all the other parts of the internet we're on. But you go to Show Me What Podcast on Instagram. That'll take you to the Twitter, the Facebook, all that good stuff. If you want to just find me and my weirdness on the internet, you can go to @ElizabethMovies on Twitter and Instagram. I hope when it comes to Instagram, you like pictures of cats, embroidery, and promotional posters for stand-up shows, because that's about all you're getting.
Yeah.
I don't do a lot of like beauty glamour shots of myself or things. You have to dig for those. Which is why I found it funny that someone from a dating app did like try to message me through Instagram. I was like, I don't know what you found. It's like literally there are more photos of me on the app than there are on my Instagram.
That's funny.
Are you in love with my cat?
Hey, maybe they are.
Maybe they are.
They like your cat.
Where can they find you, Chris?
You can find me anywhere: Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Mack Diddy Combs. That's MackDiddyCombs. And for those that are listening, if you like hearing my voice and want to hear me tell some jokes, I'm going to be at Flappers Comedy Club, a physical show on July the 2nd, Friday, July the 2nd at 7:30 p.m. at Flappers in Burbank. Go to flapperscomedy.com and get yourself tickets right now. Show your boys some support. And also find me on Instagram and on Venmo and all that shit, and say what's up. Yeah. I'm here to talk to anybody because we like talking. We like our fans. You guys have been supporting us since day one, and we fucking appreciate it so much. It's been so much fun doing these shows. Also, before we get done, make sure, fans, if you're listening, we are an official podcast now. All right.
All right.
So make sure you go to Etsy.com or Instagram and go to Arlo Australia. That's ARLO_Australia. Get yourself some nice candles. We have a promo code now. The promo code is Show Me Miss, and that'll get you 10% off purchases. You see, if you're watching, you can see Elizabeth. She's got one of the samples of candles, and
I have lemon eucalyptus. It smells amazing.
What's good? All right, and also too, she's doing bigger sizes. So if you see this joint in my hand, this is I think this is a 15 ounce.
Is that a 3-wick candle?
It's a 3-wick candle. Yes, it
is. Yeah, 3-wick.
Oh no, 4-wick. Excuse me.
4. Excuse. Oh,
yeah.
Those are nice.
Good. I think this is what's the name? No, this is a 25-ounce candle.
Oh, snap.
I am wrong. This is a 25-ounce candle. So she's got bigger sizes. She's actually going to be going up to a 30 piece, and then it's going to be like a 40 piece. So she's giving the big joints. This is a jus biscuit, which it smells like Christmas cookies. Oh, it smells so good, y'all. Y'all don't even understand. Y'all are missing out. So go to Arlo Australia, ARLO_Australia on Instagram and on Etsy,
Mhm.
and use our promo code Show Me Miss, all caps, Show Me Miss, and get 10% off all purchases. And tell them that we sent you. Tell my friend I said what's up.
Yay.
Yeah.
Do it.
Cool. So that has been our show. We thank
Mhm.
you guys for so much for listening. This has been so much fun, and we'll see you back for the next episode. Peace.